While lawmakers often describe this as a fiscal crisis, Director of National Intelligence Dan Coats added another level of concern to the national debt, calling the situation unsustainable. The country continues to add billions in debt each day, and just last week, Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin asked Congress to raise the federal limit ASAP. What do we need to do to stop it from hitting $23 trillion?
Well, I hate to tell you, but it is headed to $23 trillion. Neither party seems to be able to do anything to stop this inexorable crisis of national debt.
One of Trump's former economic advisors believes nothing short of a war on wasteful spending will change the tide. Is there a way to break away from this use it or lose it spending spree?
Well, there's always a what we call fourth quarter spending, where agencies, if they haven't spent all the money they were allocated by Congress, they furiously try to spend money on it. It doesn't even matter what they spend it on. The money just flows out the door.
Moore says we need to change that. One way, to offer incentives, even some bonus to lawmakers who find ways to cut spending.
The problem is the incentives in Washington are to increase your spending, because that's how you get a budget increase the next year.
That's how the U.S. federal debt reached $22 trillion and is still growing.
I don't think good growth policies have to obsess necessarily about the budget deficits and so forth. Look, Chris, my view, and I believe the view of the administration, we are going to point a steady glide path towards lower federal spending and federal borrowing as a share of the economy, as a share of GDP.
Kudlow recommends growing the economy to the max by not raising taxes, offering incentives like Moore suggested, and encouraging business confidence.
Congress and the president should insist that in exchange for raising that debt ceiling, we have spending cuts that make sure we're not going to $30 trillion over the next decade.
The Treasury Department will most likely run out of money to pay the nation's bill by the end of September, which means Congress will have to take action which will only add to the growing debt. Ben Kennedy, CBN News, Washington.